We're back with the feral foster kittens known as Hissy, Spitty, and Poopy, and I wanted to answer some frequently asked questions about our spicy little foster kittens. And with me while we answer some questions, we have Mr. Spitty here, aka Teen, and that's the first question I wanted to answer is why do they have multiple names? I call them Hissy, Spitty, and Poopy in the opening of all of these videos because that's how a lot of people met these guys. That's what we were calling them before they had their real names, which are Teen, Tommy, and Rio, which are inspired by Agatha all along. And at the very beginning of posting them, I unintentionally opened every video with "We're back with the feral foster kittens known as Hissy, Spitty, and Poopy." So I just kind of keep doing that for continuity, but they do have real names, Teen, Tommy, and Rio, and I 100% expect that whoever adopts them will change their names. Which brings me to the next frequently asked question, which is, am I keeping one or all of the spicy feral foster kittens? The answer is no. I have 5 cats of my own already and 4 foster kittens. I have Teen, Tommy, and Rio, and I also have Miss Magnolia or Maggie. 5 is my max. I say my coop is full, and if I were to keep more cats, it would be harder and harder to keep fostering cats, and I really enjoy fostering. So I'm very, very happy with my 5, and also very happy that I get to foster kitties like this guy. Rolling into the next frequently asked question, speaking of keeping them or adopting them out, when the time does come for them to be adopted out, I will put a form, a Google form, up on my profile, and people can apply to adopt. I'm not going to limit anything by like geography. So we're in Birmingham, Alabama. If you are in Los Angeles, California, and you want to adopt one of these kittens, you can absolutely do so if you are willing to come and pick them up. Another frequently asked question is, when will they be ready to adopt? And the answer is whenever they are fully vetted and fixed. And for the ferals, I'm going to try to have them as socialized as possible. He's kind of adjusted himself here, but all 3 of our feral foster kittens have already been fixed. My parents TNR'd them before I got them, and then I will take them to the vet to get all of their vaccines, and then they should be ready to go at that point. Someone asked recently, where did these guys come from? And as per the last answer, these guys came from my parents. My parents TNR'd, which is trap, neuter, release, or trap, neuter, return, 5 cats outside of their house this year, 2 of which were adults who were definitely much too feral and much too old to be socialized, but they also TNR'd these 3 kittens, which we're pretty sure they are all litter mates. We don't really have a way to know, but we're pretty sure they're all litter mates, and that the 2 adult cats are Mama and Papa, especially since Teen is the spitting image of the girl and Tommy is the spitting image of the Tomcat dad. That's another reason why his name is Tommy. Because they are so young, my parents didn't want to release them yet and tried to socialize them, but they both have full-time jobs and just didn't have the time to sit and work with them, so they found somewhere for them to go where somebody could, which just so happened to be their daughter, me. A question I've seen a couple times is, why is Rio's, the little black kitty, why is her ear tipped and the boy's ears are not? If you don't know, a lot of times when cats are TNR'd, they do something called an ear tip, which is where they just take off a little bitty piece of the top of their ear. It's purely cosmetic. It does not hurt them. They do it while they're under, and it heals really nicely, but that's just an outward sign to anybody who may come across this cat that this cat has been TNR'd. So no need to try to retrap them, take them just to find out this cat has already been fixed. When my parents took the 3 kittens to be TNR'd, they told them not to tip the ears because they were planning to have them socialized to eventually be adopted out. The TNR clinic was really busy that day, and there was just a mix-up in communication, and Rio came home ear-tipped. It certainly doesn't bother her in any way, and it's not going to hurt her chances of finding a forever family, but the answer is there was just miscommunication, and she was accidentally ear-tipped at the TNR clinic when she wasn't supposed to be. But truly, it's not a big deal. Where are you going, mister? Are you getting so snuggled up? Well, this is just precious. Oh my goodness. He really likes to be snuggled up. Another good question that I saw, and I think this is the last one, is what about the funding for their vet care, their food, all their supplies? Someone brought up that normally when you are fostering, you don't pay for anything. And yes, that is usually true. If you are fostering through a shelter or a nonprofit, they're providing you with the supplies, the vet care, all that stuff. Your responsibility is to just give them a place to stay, to take care of them, to hold them, love on them, get them used to being around people or other animals. That being said, I am not fostering these guys through a nonprofit or a shelter. Like I said, they came from my parents' house, which means that I am paying for everything out of my own pocket. All of the litter, all of the food, their vet bills. My parents did pay for them getting TNR'd, which was wonderful. There are no free programs where we live. I know in some states there are free programs for ferals, which I think is so incredible. Unfortunately, we do not have one here, so my parents did pay for that. But otherwise, everything is coming out of my pocket. And I will be honest, this time of year, there are a lot of expenses and I'm definitely feeling it. And I will probably put up a fundraiser at some point or a wish list if anyone wants to help pay for their vetting or for the food and litter that we are blowing through like nobody's business. But that is why I am paying for everything right now. The last frequently asked question that I think is a really good question, especially when it comes to fostering feral cats, is why does it seem to be taking so long to get them socialized? Generally speaking, the younger you can get a feral cat, the easier it will be to socialize them. The number I used to hear a good bit from people in rescue was 8 weeks. Anything past 8 weeks, it gets significantly harder to socialize feral cats or kittens. And I got these guys probably closer to 10 or 11 weeks old, and they were very spicy, very feral, very hissy, spitty, and poopy, but they were still young enough that I thought there was hope to socialize them, and the progress has been slow, but as you can see, we are making progress. If I'm being totally transparent, the progress with these kittens has been slower than I would have liked, and it is disheartening some days to not see them progressing like I would hope they would be. This, in this moment, is incredibly rewarding, but getting him into the sling is still pretty hard. It's not fun to watch an animal be scared and you feel like you're contributing to that feeling of fear for them, and that is a very unsettling feeling, and it is not fun. But then we have moments like this and it makes the other moments worth it. But this is definitely not the easiest fostering journey that I've been on. I think those are the big frequently asked questions and things that I wanted to talk about. But if anyone has any other questions about fostering or fostering feral kittens or fostering with FIV positive cats in my house, please feel free to ask. I love to help. And if this maybe inspires just one person to think about fostering or donating to a local nonprofit or rescue or someone you know that's fostering, then I think it's worth it.